Hello everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. This year, the 2024 year, is one of the most exciting years for those people who like body-on-the-frame trucks and SUV, which include me and many of you guys, because we're soon going to get the Lexus GX arriving in dealership, and I have a deposit on one, so I should be able to get one very quickly, as well as Toyota Tacoma and many of its iterations, including the TRD Pro and Trail Hunters, arriving sometime in spring or summertime. Also, we're getting the Land Cruiser 250 series, which is the biggest news of all, and that should be arriving in, let's say, midsummer or late summer as well, and we'll get to drive them later in the year, so I'm really excited about that 250 series. And on top of that, we might finally see the reveal of a 2025 Toyota 4Runner, which is a next generation version based on the Tacoma platform, and that of course is perhaps the biggest news of all. But there could also be one more really interesting reveal that could happen this year, perhaps even summertime, that could blow everything else out the window, and that is a potential reveal of a mini Land Cruiser, possibly branded as a Land Cruiser FJ. And this news comes from Japan, from our good old friend at the Best Car magazine, which has been the most accurate source for all things to do with Japanese models, especially Toyota models. And they are saying that we should see the reveal of the Land Cruiser Mini or Land Cruiser FJ, whatever you want to call it, in the summertime. And it's not going to be a fake SUV in the sense that it's not a unitized body, but they are saying that it's a mini version of the Land Cruiser 250 with a true body-on-the-frame structure and design. And of course, we don't even know if such a model will really be revealed this year, but Best Car magazine has been really accurate when it comes to predicting these Toyota models. So I bet my dollar that Land Cruiser Mini or Land Cruiser FJ will indeed show up in summertime as a true body-on-the-frame SUV, but shrunken version of the Land Cruiser 250 with more of a classic FJ design, including the spare tire in the rear. And that really is an exciting news. Now, I do admit that I'm not very confident that they will import such a vehicle to North America, because most likely it might be too small in terms of the size, and maybe it's not the right model for us. But if they do show up in Japan at least, or in Asia, who knows, in a few years down the road, we might get such a version as well. So either way, it's a fascinating news, it's an exciting news, because who wouldn't love a mini Land Cruiser, especially if it's going to have the name FJ. And there's a lot that I can tell you based on what the Best Car magazine is saying, which is the fact that yes, it will be kind of like a shrunken version of a Land Cruiser 250 with a similar body-on-frame design with a full ladder frame. But they're also saying that the size is very reasonable, that it's most likely about the size of a Corolla Cross, so a little bit smaller than RAV4, but not much smaller than that, and therefore it's going to be a perfect size for city users, but also perfect size for going to really tight places in off-road area where you don't want a big SUV because it's hard to maneuver them through the bushes and through the forest. So those are some of the interesting things that's coming up. They are also saying that the power plant could be a combination of a normal gasoline engine and hybrid, but it will likely not be offered in fully electric version, at least not in the beginning. So they're saying the engine could be comparable in terms of size to what's inside a RAV4, so it could be 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, or it could be a hybrid that uses 2.5 4-cylinder engine in combination with the latest hybrid technology. They're also saying that, who knows, maybe it will even use some turbocharged engine, the displacement of, let's say, 1.5 or 1.6 liters. So obviously they're not very sure about the powertrain. There's lots of questions about exactly what kind of engine or what kind of hybrid system will power this unit, but they are very confident that such a model do indeed exist and will show up sometime in summer of this year, in the calendar year 2024. They are also saying that this will follow in the footsteps of a Land Cruiser 250 in terms of capability, and therefore it will have all of the off-road features that we already get in the Land Cruiser 250 series, including such thing as cruise control and many other features that turns it into a true off-roader. And as I said, in terms of overall length, you'll be about the size of a Corolla Cross, but they say that you'll be quite a bit taller and higher than Corolla Cross because one, it's a body on the frame, and two, they want to give it more of a FJ look, so it's going to look nice and tall, possibly with a two-tone treatment with a white roof and different color for the body, and it could look really cool. And you can see the rendering right here, which is one that was done by Best Car. I've cleaned up the image a little bit more, put a different background so that you do get pretty good feel for what it might look like. And once again, they could be way off in terms of the actual design and image that's been predicted, but if history proves to be correct, then the Best Car magazine would be the most accurate source for something like this. So what you see might indeed be exactly what we're getting in summertime as a Land Cruiser FJ. And you don't even have to take my word or the words of the Best Car magazine. You just have to remember that Simon Humphries, which is an executive at Toyota, who is the head of the design, actually showed a silhouette or shadow of what looks like a Land Cruiser FJ way back when the Land Cruiser 250 series was introduced as a world premiere. It was in the back of the stage during the premiere, and it clearly shows an image that looks exactly like what the Best Car magazine is showing. So I'm very confident that that thing will show up in summertime. And by the way, I had the honor and privilege to interview Simon Humphries during the Japan Mobility Show several months ago, and so I interviewed him about the future of Toyota and Lexus. So if you haven't seen that video, please watch that as well. I'll put the link below. But if he is the one that is showing what looks like a Land Cruiser Mini or FJ during the Land Cruiser 250 series premiere, then you know what? This thing is going to show up sometime this year. Now that I know that you really want to find out more about this, now unfortunately at this point, it is still a lot of speculation going around and a lot of rumors, and therefore it's hard to pinpoint exactly what is fact and what is speculation. But based on my experience and reading between the lines from Best Car Magazine's article, I really think the front end will look like this, with the round headlights looking very much like the combination of the new Land Cruiser 250 series and the old FJ, and the rest of the body indeed look like a shrunken version of the Land Cruiser 250 series. And at the back it looks very simple, but with a full-size spare stuck right in the rear hatch, and that really looks like the old FJ. I'm hoping that we'll find out more about this model as time goes, especially as I make my trips to Japan over the next several months. So I will definitely keep you in the loop if I find out more. But for now, I just want to tell you how excited I am that this indeed seems to be happening, and you can look forward to more information about the Land Cruiser FJ coming up in the next several months. Until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.